What's up, everybody? So today's video, we're going to talk about anxiety. And I don't have a plan for this video. I don't have points that I'm going to touch on. I don't really honestly know what I'm going to talk about other than my own experiences with anxiety and things that I struggle with day to day, week to week, month to month, whenever it decides to come up. So I'll start by letting you guys know I've been struggling with anxiety for years. I mean, as long as I can remember, I was a kid that worried all the time. I would cry at the drop of a hat. I even remember having what I think are panic attacks as a little kid. Just uncontrollable crying. I wouldn't go to school because of these fits of just panic. And of course, at the time you're a kid, you don't think much of it. But as I got older and older, the feelings of worry and impending doom and, just these floods of emotions continued. And I didn't realize what it was until a few years ago. It was actually before our wedding. I started having full-blown panic attacks. And I talked to my mom about it, and she said this is anxiety, this is a panic attack. And so I went to the doctor and got prescribed a medicine to help with anxiety. And that was the first time that I realized that there is an actual reason for just these bouts of uncontrollable crying and almost hysteria and just the feeling of not being able to breathe. And it's been a few years, and it's hard to come to terms with this. Today at the gym, I've been feeling a little anxious the last few days, and it happens more at night. I don't know if any of you guys that have anxiety feel this as well, but I think just being quiet and alone, you're able to focus more on things. And what's so awful about it is that, normal functions like breathing, you become so aware of them that I have to consciously think about my breath and about breathing, because I start to get this fear that I'm gonna stop breathing. And going to sleep at night, it's hard because of course you have to shut off your mind. And starting to fall asleep, you worry that you're not going to be able to breathe in your sleep. Like I said, I don't know if any of you guys that have anxiety struggle with this, but it's real. And it's a terrible, terrible fear to have, thinking that you're not going to wake up when you go to sleep. And of course, at the same time, you have these worries, and then you realize this is ridiculous. Like, what am I thinking? I'm not going to stop breathing in my sleep. I'm perfectly healthy. I'm fine. I'm going to wake up in the morning like normal. And so you have this crazy battle going on in your head of stop being so ridiculous, but then also worrying about these things like they are legitimate fears. So the last few days I've been dealing with that at night. And then I went into the gym today, and as just walking into the gym, I felt my chest is heavy. I feel more aware of my breath, and not in a good yoga way. It's more aware, like, okay, you need to breathe in, you need to breathe out. It's almost preventing hyperventilation in a sense, or how I feel it is. So I went into the gym. It was leg day. I was feeling good initially, started going into the gym, and I know that a lot of this is fueled by social situations as well. So talking to people and being out. I don't know where it stems from or why it happens, but being around more people makes it worse for me. So sometimes if Matt and I are out somewhere around a bunch of people, like at the rock gym, or if we're at a party or with a group of friends, out to dinner, sometimes I'll feel it coming on and I have to walk away. And to be honest, sometimes I cry. Sometimes there's been a couple times where we've been at dinner with friends and I start to feel that heavy feeling in my chest. I feel like I can't breathe. So I have to get up and I cry in the bathroom, and then I come back out and, you know, just try as much as I can to continue on like normal. And Matt can tell when it happens because, you know, I kind of whisper to him, hey, my anxiety's kind of bad. So sometimes he'll come with me. Sometimes he knows that I just need to be alone. And again, crying just about everything, I think is another thing of it. Talking about it sometimes makes it worse, sometimes it makes it better, but having people ask me, are you okay? Like, what's wrong? Are you crying? Are you okay? Sometimes that makes it worse. So I don't want, you know, the focus to be on me when things are happening. So somebody asks what's wrong, sometimes that'll set it off even worse. Back to the gym. So I was at the gym, I started doing my squats, and just already being short of breath is not a help. And then doing squats and having to breathe harder and having your heart rate up makes it so much worse. So I reached a point to where I had to think to myself, is this workout going to help my situation, or is it going to make it worse? Because I've had times where I think just push through, you know, it's all mental, just push through, and I push myself to a point of a panic attack. And I've called Matt before from the parking lot of the gym, just uncontrollable crying, hyperventilating, because I pushed myself to the point of a panic attack. So today I was able to step back and think, this is not going to help my situation. And it's, part of it sucks because I love working out and I want to be there and I want to push through and get past these mental barriers. But at the same time, I have to realize that some of this might be out of my control. And there can be some things to make it better, and there can be some things to make it worse. So things that I know that make it worse would be pushing myself in a workout and causing my heart rate to elevate and you know, shortening my breath even more than it already is, putting more stress on my body and on my central nervous system. Doesn't help. Another thing that doesn't help is sitting alone and thinking about it more. So when I come home, you know, I work from home, so I'm alone a lot. At the same time, I don't want to go out in public, so it's like you have to find this balance. And I know I probably sound like a crazy person, but I know that you guys with anxiety can identify with this, so that's why I'm making this video. So being home, I have to find a good balance between sitting and, you know, thinking about it more and fueling the anxiety, or keeping myself busy. So I'll get right to work, I'll start editing videos, I'll watch a funny movie, I'll go for a walk with Buzz, you know. And to be honest, sometimes calling somebody and talking about it does not help either. So there are times when I can call Matt and let him know, hey, I'm feeling like this, and he'll talk me through it. Or there are times like today that I'm not gonna call him because I just don't want to talk about that feeling anymore. So that's what I'm dealing with today. Like I said, I didn't have a complete purpose or points that I wanted to talk about. This isn't a video to tell you how to deal with your anxiety. It's just putting it out there that this is a very, very real struggle for me. And I'm a happy person. I'm very happy and positive. I love my life and I love what I do, and I love my family and my husband and our, you know, little fur babies. I love everything. So seeing somebody with anxiety, a lot of people automatically think that there are issues, that they're unhappy with something, you know, that there's something in their life that they don't want to deal with, or whatever else. You know, they see that they have anxiety and they think that it's a mental thing, but yet here I am, and I could not be happier with where I'm at in life, with everything that I have and everything around me, and I still struggle with this. So there it is. I'm just putting it out there for you guys. I've talked about my anxiety on and off probably for the last year or so, but you know, a lot of new subscribers might not realize this about me, and I just wanted to share with you guys that I do struggle with this, If anybody else struggles with anxiety, you know, I would love to create a little support group in the comments below. So feel free to leave encouraging words, not for me. This video is not for sympathy. I don't want people, you know, to think that I'm not okay, because I am okay. But this is something that I struggle with. You know, I feel that in life we all have our battles. We all have the things that, you know, God puts us through that make us stronger and more able to help people in the long run. And I think this is one of my things. So like I said, let's start a support group in the comments below if you have anxiety and feel like sharing, you know, your ways of dealing with it. I would love to read them in the comments below. I appreciate you guys watching, and I hope y'all are having a good day. I'll see you on the next video.